The following clip is brought to you by Capanna's Coffee and Gelato in Ames. Get yourself a good cup of coffee.
All right, you're listening to Live from the Path, and whether you realize it or not, your ship has come in. You've just stumbled on.
It's time.
To one of the fastest-growing internet game shows, Secular versus Solomon.
And now, for America's fastest-growing game show.
Internet game show.
Secular or Solomon?
Here's the deal. If you're new to the game, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a proverb. You're going to tell me whether it's a secular proverb, whether it's from the world, or whether that bit of wisdom is from the Bible.
Then what's going to happen, Ben?
Solomon-oriented.
Oh, no.
And then you get a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Hey-oh.
If it is a worldly bit of wisdom, you got to tell me the country of origin.
Is it a country, or can you just say whatever you want, Dan or Troy?
I only do countries.
I will tell you if it's a people group.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Last time we played, Troy kept answering like President of Pizza Ranch or whatever. He just kept making up random specific people.
I think I didn't do that. I think it was Dan that said Epcot Center.
I may have.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, Ben.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's get on the show.
The side commentary is not going well tonight, Ben.
Nope. All right, here we go. Secular versus Solomon. Make sure you play along at home. If you're playing the home game, get up on the chat. Here you go.
Hold on, I'm going to try to keep my face like this the whole time. Go ahead.
No, I love it. Here we go. First item. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. Secular or Solomon? John Buva.
I'm going to go secular Egyptian.
Secular Egyptian. Mike Foost.
Secular Moravia.
Moravia, I don't believe is a legitimate country.
Bavaria.
Oh, man. I forgot to tell you, when we were talking about the night gods, I looked up a list of night deities. There's a ton.
Is there a cool name?
No, check this out. Aztec has Lords of the Night. It's a group of 9 gods, each of whom ruled over a particular night. And then I thought to
There's
myself,
only 7 days in a week.
I know. The Aztecs had another couple days in the week.
Kings of the calendar. Screwed it up again.
Something to think about. Dan Hudson, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver, secular or Solomon.
I changed mine to Bavaria, not Moravia.
Okay,
like
I'll take it. Who's going
I'm going to go secular, and I think I'll say Cuba.
Okay, a
A
word.
lot of change going on in Cuba.
No doubt. This bit of wisdom is coming out of revolution in Cuba. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. The chat is correct. Solomon. Proverbs
I was all the way. I was
25:11.
going Solomon, and then I changed my mind.
Proverbs
Good job, chat.
25:11. There's something very, very special about a word fitly spoken. About saying the right thing.
Yeah, I just didn't remember the silver part.
Here's the thing. Dan
The
is
apple
my
part.
spiritual authority, and I go to him for Bible readings. So I blame Dan for my failure. Continue on.
I think that's fair. Here we go. It is better to be born a beggar than a fool. It is better to be born a beggar than a fool. Secular or Solomon? Mike.
Secular and Latvia.
Secular. Latvia. Dan Hudson.
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. John Buva III.
Secular Lithuania.
Where's that at?
Right next to Latvia.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've been to both places.
Is that Eastern Europe?
Yeah, it's Latvia, Lithuania, and then Estonia.
You guys have targeted this particular area for the fool.
That's where they live.
Luckily, we're on the internet and no one from overseas can hear.
We're not implying anything.
It is better to be born a beggar than a fool. Secular. Spanish.
That's what I said.
Spanish proverb.
Yeah, definitely.
Here we go. It is better to be a male for 1 day than a female for 10.
You're darn right it is.
It is better to be a male for 1 day than a female for 10. Dan Hudson.
Wait a minute. Is the end death? Is I'm saying like I'd rather live 1 day as a male and instead of living 10 days as a lady? Or do you go back to being a dude after the 10 days?
I think it's the 1 to 10.
It's in specific. So, Solomon does, it says what they want.
I tell you what, that there's a lot of goofy stuff that happens in Taiwan, and I think they would probably come up with that type of advice.
All my alarm clocks are made there. I feel like it's on the up and up. John Buva III, secular or Solomon?
I'm going to go secular Saudi Arabia.
The Saudis. Mike Foost, it is better to be born a beggar than it is better to be a male for 1 day than a female for 10.
Secular New Zealand. Or Austria.
Okay.
Previously
actually,
Austrian.
shoot. This is so it is secular, but it's a people group. I'm going to give you another round. Buva.
The Yiddish.
Mike.
Austrian.
Dan.
Dan's not good with this.
I don't know.
I was sure it was Taiwanese.
He says
People
the Serbs.
How big? Like Asian?
Oriental.
All right.
He says the Serbs.
Eastern,
The Franks.
All right. It's Kurds. Kurdish proverb. The Kurds.
Where are they from?
cottage cheese.
Mesopotamia. Iraq.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know anything of the
There's a lot of the
world.
battles between the Kurds. And
I'm
the
gonna call that I was
Shiites
closest.
and
Yeah. The if I remember, the general battle is like who descended from Muhammad.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Secular or Solomon.
No.
John Buva.
No.
I'm gonna go Solomon.
No. No.
Mike Foose.
Solomon will talk about teeth. That's a fail. That's going to be secular. Starts with a P, probably.
Who do talk about teeth, Mike?
Pierogi. South Korea.
That's not a people group.
Pierogi? You say pierogi?
South Korea.
Our job is not to spread the gospel to the world. We're going to have to stay within our area.
Pierogies.
We're offensive and difficult to deal with.
Secular.
Dan Hudson.
I do believe that there are some spiritual overtones, but although it's, I'm pretty sure it's secular, so I'm going the Vatican.
Trusting in a treacherous man in time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Solomon, Proverbs 25:19.
Pierogi.
Yeah,
Is that in
pierogi
the-
are dumplings of unleavened dough.
Is that in the ESV?
Yeah.
I don't read that one. I read the Jimmy Swaggart New Testament.
That seems to be going really well for you.
I'm on chapter 2. Give me money.
How do you like my hair?
Yeah, it reads, Proverbs 25 reads, trusting in a treacherous man in a time of trouble is like reading the Jimmy Swaggart New Testament. It's like a, man, I had
That's
a
slanderous. I probably shouldn't say that.
yeah, I have to take it back. It's like a bad tooth.
Okay.
I just had a tooth taken out this week.
They don't. Here's what I used to think happened when I was a kid. I used to think they took your teeth out, they fixed them and put them back in. That ain't the deal.
That didn't work.
No.
That's not how it works.
They take it out and then they look it over and then they look at you
in disgust.
very
Yeah.
disapprovingly.
Do you see what you did to this?
The top part is only slight evidence of what you've done, and then when
Yeah.
they see the full damage, they're like,
Yeah.
"You ever heard of an
Ooh.
apple?"
I said, hey man, I went in there. I love this guy. I said, hey, why don't we crown this thing? And he's like, I wouldn't put any money into that tooth. And then he took it out and he goes, I was right. I said, I gotta change my ways.
Do you have any licorice?
My mouth hurts. Do you have an O. Henry?
Here's the funny thing though, is the Novocaine paste that they start with to numb you before they get to the Novocaine shot tastes like chewing gum. And I said, this is a deceit. If I came in chewing a big thing of bubble tape, I feel like you'd be upset with me.
Except your lip was all swollen. You're like, "This is a cheat." You ruined me.
All right. It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. It's not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory, secular or Solomon. Mike.
That's a Solomon.
Dan Hudson.
I'm not feeling it tonight. I'm going Panama.
Panama.
What do you mean you're not feeling Solomon? It's glorious and honey.
He did throw the honey in.
Is there something about
He
wind
likes
in
the
there?
honey.
The Panamanians have overdone it with the honey.
What is it? Verily, verily. What does he say? Wind. Something wind. Like the wind.
Yeah, like the wind.
Yeah.
Vanity.
Honey's-
Vanity.
Vanity, vanity, wind.
Yeah.
Solomon.
John Mover the third.
I'm going to go Solomon.
It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. Winnie the Pooh. Proverbs. Solomon. 25:27.
Not feeling it, huh, Dan?
I'm not feeling it. I got to read
Proverbs not
this in
feeling you, brother.
ESV again. I still haven't done that.
He who cannot agree with his enemies is controlled by them. He who cannot agree with his enemies is controlled by them. Secular or Solomon. Dan.
That does sound like South Korea.
I think that sounds Scottish.
Scottish. John Mover the third.
Secular Mongolian.
Mike Foost.
Secular That's not a country.
Do you want me to
Botswana. I was gonna say Roland.
I'm gonna have to-
Roland's not a country.
I have to take away the country portion.
Roland?
He
You want me to play or not?
he who cannot agree with his enemies is controlled by them. Secular Chinese, a Chinese proverb.
Ooh,
I
that's
agree
close
with
to Scotland.
This is.
I
this,
said Mongol.
I actually got stopped by this one because I thought that's an interesting bit of wisdom because it is true to a certain extent. If you cannot agree with your enemies, it depends on how you react. You are controlled by them by lack of disagreement.
Give me an example.
Because the very fact that they are an enemy of yours, they have some sort of control over your life for you to have had to deem them an enemy. It puts them in a state as opposed to, say, a neutral party that has no influence on your life. There's effort put into deeming someone an enemy.
No, you're just being aware. You're being aware of them.
No, otherwise, if you were just cognizant of him, he's
Now,
just a neutral
listen here.
party.
It's like saying that like the deadly brown recluse spider is an enemy of mine. I don't spend all my days plotting against them. I'm just aware of them when they come around.
Then I wouldn't consider that your enemy.
Maybe you have a heavy definition of enemy. Mine is light. I like to put a lot of people in that category, and you don't like to put very many.
Am I your enemy, Mike?
Botswana.
well, actually, Mike, so enemy or foe is a term for an entity, whether an individual or group, that is seen as forcefully adverse or threatening. Brown recluse.
Forcefully, though?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Really?
Does the dictionary change your ways, Boova?
No.
Feel like you were laid bare and your innards were shown, and you were shown to be lacking.
You were found wanting.
The dentist was right. You're a bad tooth.
You cannot be trusted in times of
Solomon and the dentist were correct.
trouble. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. Secular or Solomon? Mike.
Secular. Roland. I was gonna say Tolkien. Secular. Norway. Norwegian.
Norway.
The Norwedes.
Dan Hudson.
I think it has some good wisdom to it, but I don't know that it's scriptural. So I'm going to go with Madagascar.
Okay. John Boover the third.
I'm going to go secular British. They got a big clock.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes. He does not ask. That the 5 minutes. That's where you're getting. They have a clock.
Yeah, don't look at me, Roland.
I said I was gonna say it. I didn't commit to
You
it.
totally did, though.
That is secular Chinese again.
Oh,
What a mistake!
Hey,
they're taking over.
That was
the world.
close.
You're a snake in the grass. You know what I'm saying? You know you can't do 2 Chinese in a row. That's wrong.
Here we go. You're in the middle of America's fastest growing unproven internet game show, Secular versus Solomon, where I give you a proverb. You tell me where. The goal is to try to find out whether it's biblical wisdom or not biblical wisdom.
And sometimes why? Why is it not?
Yeah. Here we go. After shaking hands with a Greek, count your fingers. After shaking hands with a Greek, count your fingers. Secular or Solomon? John Boova.
Secular Roman.
The Romans. Mike.
Secular Chile.
Who doesn't like the Greeks? The Chile.
Yeah.
Chileans hate the Greek.
They're an opposed people.
Dan Hudson.
I'm going to go with Israel.
After shaking hands with
Why are you saying like an Arkansas governor?
Israel. They
I've
rub
been to
shoulders with
Israel.
a lot of Greeks.
I'm going to assume that the chat is behind. The Solomon just came up on the chat. I feel like that's not a Solomon phrase. After shaking hands with a Greek, count your fingers. Albanian saying. So, the thing to learn from tonight's show, boys and girls, is that if you ever meet a friendly Albanian, never invite him out for a wiro. he might tussle with the proprietor.
And then check his fingers.
Man, I was gonna make
you.
an outlandish statement there, but I couldn't think of like a common Greek name. Like what's the name of an everyman in
Yanni.
Greece? Yanni?
Yeah.
No, no, that's
Nicholas.
a special name.
Yanni.
Apollos.
No. No, that's ridiculous. Yanni.
It's not Yanni.
It's
Sapphira. Who was Greek? Somebody was Greek.
Yanni. I'm going with it.
Is Yanni from Greece?
Yes.
The real Yanni?
The real Yanni.
The king of the Yannis? Find out what's his country of origin.
Okay, hold on. Common male Greek names. They got a picture of a bunch of hoodster Greeks
All
here.
Greek men there.
Demetrios.
Okay.
The second most common name is Yannis.
Yannis.
Or Giannis.
Yeah.
Philip.
Yeah. Or Giannis.
Georgios.
We'll go with Demetrius.
Alexandros, Vasilis, Thanasis, Christos, also very popular.
That's a cool name.
Yanni.
Yeah, it was Giannis.
Rhodus.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Roland.
Should have been Roland.
My Greek friend Roland.
I had
We're
a
going
dog-
out for
I had
pure
a dog
geese.
named Roland.
All right, sorry, here we go. It's an extended secular versus Solomon. Like a lame man's legs, which hang useless, is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Is in the mouth of fools. Like a lame man's legs, which hang useless, is a proverb in the mouth of mouth of fools. Secular or Solomon. John Boover III.
I feel like that was you calling me a fool a couple times.
Sorry, what?
You just pick up on that, Demetrius?
I did. I did, Roland. I'm gonna go secular, and I'm gonna go Irish.
Okay, Mike.
Secular and Hamburg.
Roland.
Germany. West Germany. East Germany. They're together. United Germany.
They're all together now.
The collective Germany.
Germany United.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through all the past shows and then produce an atlas only off of guesses that we've made and
Epcot
relative
Center has to be in
positioning.
there. Roland Piorgis.
The more often we've used the country, the bigger the country is on the atlas.
It'd like a spherical diagram.
Dan Hudson, like a lame man's legs, which hang useless, is a proverb in the mouth of fools.
You know, I'm just gonna break the mold. I'm gonna go with Solomon, even though I don't recall that at all. But you know, sometimes the ESV tricks me.
Looks like the chat's in for Solomon too.
Like a lame man's legs, which hang useless, is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Solomon, Proverbs 26:7.
Oh, Dan in the chat.
Fail.
Somewhere, Buva has really upset a handicapped Irishman.
It appears so. I'm just saying the Irish might have said that at some point in time. Copywriting on his
Here we go. A final. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Secular or Solomon. Dan.
That's my final answer. Solomon.
Solomon. John Boover III.
I'm gonna go for Solomon.
Mike Foost.
Ecclesiastes. Solomon.
Let's see. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Solomon, Proverbs 25:28.
Hell,
Double win.
Could be a
Double
Solomon.
score. Mike Foost. From long range.
from downtown.
America's fastest
You've just
growing
listened
game
to
show. Secular or Solomon?
All right. Secular Solomon is brought to you by Capanna's Coffee and Gelato
Heck yeah.
in Ames. You can ponder our foolishness over a delightful gelato.
Yeah. I tell you what, $4, and you can say, I'm glad I'm not those guys.
Yeah.
It's a self-esteem booster.
There's things to praise the Lord about. If you're
Yeah.
having problems in your life, you're like, I just don't see any blessings in my life. You're not me.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
There's a Demetrius right now. Couldn't be happier.
What do you think of to talk about my legs? I don't do impressions.
No, you don't.
All right. Anyway,
And yet they continue.
I don't know to regret it until it's happened. That's often how I deal with my wife. They're like, oh, whoops. Hey, I knew better than that from the last time it happened. What a mistake. A man who cannot control himself is like a city without walls.
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't get it. What's the breakdown?
There's no defense. There's no. You just splatter. The whole city is just out there.
You open yourself up for
Yeah.
attack, right? A man who can't control himself opens himself up to be invaded by anything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm with you so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Proverbs 25:28. All right. That's the deal.